Good morning. It is time for Crochet Business Chat, and today we are going to be talking about, okay, you've priced your stuff. Now what? What happens when someone says, your prices cost too much? Or when you price your products and you're like, shoot, no one's going to pay this much for this product, whether that's a reality or not. What are you going to do after your products are priced and you're not really sure that there's a good match? We're going to talk about that today on Monday Morning Crochet Business Chat. If you are new to the channel, my name is Pam Grice. I am your crochet business coach, and I am on a mission to help 100,000 women find financial freedom through crochet, and I hope that includes you. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you're watching on YouTube so that you can be sure to be notified anytime I upload new videos. You can get all the best crochet business tips here at Crochetpreneur. So I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome to everyone. Hello, Seashell Crochet, Spiritual Life Coaching. Hi, Cheryl. All right, folks are here. We are going to just hop in and get started. Is this light a little much? Should we do that? Should we do that? A little much? We don't know. We don't know. Hi, Ginger. Yay, I'm glad you made it. Okay, I'm going to pop over to, so this is our topic for today. So pricing products, what's next? After you've gotten your price, what do you do next? Let's talk about profit optimization. Hide that, get that. So optimizing your crochet for sales and profits. If you're a designer, don't leave, because there are some tips here that you can utilize as well for your crochet patterns. And sounds like the construction workers just got here. So if you hear some banging, forgive me. And if you hear some snoring, forgive me. My husband is snoring right now. You guys, life. All right, so optimizing your crochet for sales and profits, and stick around to the end. I'm going to share with you a resource that you can grab for free to help you with this whole process. So here we go. The first step is, like I said, know your price. So work out the pricing formula that you use. If you don't already have a pricing formula, you can get my automated crochet product pricing calculator, which is you just plug in your numbers and it will tell you your suggested retail price. You can get that in the description below. So this is the pricing strategy that I use for wholesale and retail pricing. So get your price, and then we can move on to the next step. So when someone asks you, why do you price so high? Or what goes into your pricing? Or I would never pay that, or I could get that for half that price at Walmart. All of those things that we hear on occasion, hopefully not too often, but we do hear in the marketplace, that makes us wonder, should I lower my prices? Before you lower your prices, I want you to walk through this strategy that will help you decide if that's even necessary. So the strategy is called the 3 R's, and it's not reduce, reuse, recycle. It is reduce, raise, and review. So I'm going to walk you through each of these steps. First one is reduce. So it's important to ask yourself, how can I reduce any of these items that will then reduce the price automatically without impacting my profit margin? So can I reduce the cost of supplies? Can I purchase wholesale? Can I purchase with coupons? Can I reduce the amount of supplies that I'm using on this product? Like when we purchase even our product labels, if we buy 10, it's one price. If we buy 50 or 100, the price is lower per item. So when we do that kind of thing, we lower our overall cost of making that item, which then reduces the overall price. So that's a suggestion. Next is reducing the time to complete the product. So a lot of you know that I create most of my patterns with super bulky yarn for exactly this reason. I want to finish a product in less than 2 hours, preferably less than an hour, so that I don't have to charge all of that much for my hourly wage. So if you can consider, how can I reduce the time to complete this product, whether that might be batch making, which is something that I do with my products. I'll just pick a day and say, today I'm making all scarves from this one pattern. And that way you just get into a rhythm, and making that one product goes much more quickly than it would otherwise. And another thing is to use a higher weight yarn, to use a larger hook, and to specifically, we'll talk about this in a little bit, finding patterns that are already optimized for sellers. The next thing is to reduce your business expenses. Because your business expenses roll over into the pricing formula for your products, everything adds up, right? So checking, am I spending money on things that don't matter? Am I using apps that I could use a free version rather than the paid version? And reduce your business expenses so that you can then reduce the price you need to charge for your products. And then finally, and this is the kind of last straw measure, would be to reduce your profit margin, either on your wholesale products or your retail products. I recommend um, having a 30% markup on wholesale items. If you need to reduce that, ask yourself if it's worth it to you. For me, it's not, typically. Or ask if you need to reduce your profit margin on your retail pricing and just bring your price down a couple dollars, so that while you do take a hit, you might use this product as a loss leader, as something to really attract people into your business, and then upsell them on the back end. So these are ways that you can reduce ultimately the cost of the product without losing a lot of money. Next, whoops, hi. Next would be to raise or elevate, right? So we're talking about elevating the perceived value of your product. And the way that you do that is with marketing language, the copy around your product, the product description. You can increase the perceived value with just the way you stage an item. You can increase the perceived value with your photographs. All of those things, simple tweaks that you can make to the marketing of a product, that when someone sees it, they automatically view it as having a higher value, and so they accept the higher price. Also, you could actually raise or elevate the actual value of the item by adding a product label, by adding a pom-pom, adding something else that you can then charge a little bit more for that product in relation to the how you're changing it. You could use a different kind of yarn that automatically raises the actual value of the product, going from an acrylic yarn to a natural fiber, going from an acrylic and wool mix to 100% wool. While it does raise your overall cost, it also raises the actual value, and so you can raise your price in proportion to that. Next is raising demand. So this is, again, about marketing. So getting your product into the hands of influencers, getting your product into the hands of brand reps. Oh my gosh, I would love to see your comments if you can hear Kevin snoring right now. But increasing demand, sharing photos that your testers have made if you're a designer, sharing social proof from your customers, photos from your customers, reviews from your customers, helps both increase the perceived value and increase demand for your product. So the more people are sharing and showing social proof for your items, the more in demand that item will become. So working on that and actually having a strategy for making that happen, along with raising the quality of your branding. So many of us come into the handmade business with a real crafter mindset, and we focus our branding around being crafty or crafter-ish, homemade, whereas the customers are wanting to purchase artisan items or purchase high-end items that come from skilled artists, right? And so when you create branding that is professional, that shows artisan quality, a simple branding shift could all of a sudden elevate the perception of your products. So if you take a real critical eye at your branding and the way that you set up your craft fair booth or your shop, and say, how, when someone walks into my shop, what's their first perception? Is their first perception homemade, or is their first perception artisan? If it's the second, they'll be willing to spend more money on the exact same item based on how you're marketing that with the visual marketing inside of your booth or your shop. So these are important things to pay attention to. Next is review. So once you do your pricing for your product, it's important to review the product viability, to look at the profit you're making and saying, is this worth it to me? If I charge this price, is it worth it to me to make this item? If you're reducing your profit margin in order to get your pricing in line with what you think people will pay, but now you're not making much money on the time that you're spending making something, you need to assess and review, is this product worth making and worth adding to my product line? And if it's not, being willing to take it out. The next is to review your own mindset. Say, am I bringing in a negative perception into my own products? Am I owning my awesome, or am I listening to these people who are saying, I'm not going to pay for that. That's too expensive. I could buy that at Walmart. Are you listening to them? And then you're like, oh, I should lower my prices. My stuff's not that good. You need to check in with yourself, because the way that you perceive your skills and your products and your own value is really going to rub off on the customers as well. And then finally, review the solution. I've said before that there's 21 solutions to any problem. Review what your possible solutions might be. Again, do you need to reduce your costs? Do you need to raise your value or perceived value of your item? What do you need to do, and what action are you going to take? And then take that action. And when you do, you can feel really good about creating a win-win solution for both you and your customers. And your bonus, this isn't an R, but I'm using profit optimized crochet patterns that are already designed to be products that are sold. So patterns that are created for sellers that specifically, I prefer super chunky yarn because it makes it so fast to finish a product. So you barely have to charge anything. The yarn, not barely, the yarn is not expensive. And so your profits can remain at a really good rate for your products. And if you want to find any of my profit optimized patterns, you can go to madewithatwist.com and click on patterns for sellers, and they'll all be right there. And many of them are free. So hop over there and see if you can find something that you would like to add to your product line. And then be sure to go to the link in the description below and grab the product pricing calculator and the profit optimization worksheet. Both of them are free for you to use. Just click on the link, subscribe to the Made with a Twist newsletter. If you're on my newsletter, then it'll be in your inbox in about half an hour. So you don't have to worry about resubscribing or anything. It'll be there right for you. And you can hear him snoring. Nice. All right. So that is the lesson for today. I know this was super fast, but I also know that you need to get back to your businesses. And so I'm going to let you go. I'll pop into the Facebook group and onto YouTube and answer any questions you have. And be sure to take one of these links to go learn more about pricing and about making profits at craft fairs. So thank you so much for being here. And hang on just a second. Thank you so much for being here. And I will be back again next Monday with a new topic that I haven't decided yet, but I will let you know what that is at that time. All right. Thanks, you guys. See you.